So we all know about shapes, but today I will talk a little bit more about them. And meanwhile, we will draw some cute tigers. There is a sakura one, so stay tuned for that one. And yeah, let's see how it goes. There's quite a mess. This is what happens whenever I'm doing Patreon or store stuff. So let's clean this up because I can't, I have no space to draw or do anything. I'm still a bit sick, so if you hear any sniffling in the video, I'm sorry. What I always do is do the big shapes, always just very loosely, and that's where I figure out the composition, the shapes, if they're right, especially if I'm looking at a reference. The shapes need to be set in the right places, like the big ones, like for example, the head, mouth, nose part, and the ears are important as well, because if they're somewhere where they shouldn't be, it can feel off. And with shapes as well, I always love to do like a nice rounded shape and then kind of cut it a little bit with an edge. Nothing crazy, but that's how I like to keep things interesting. Hey guys, happy to see you here. This is voiceover Caro, so hello. As you can see, we will be drawing tons of tigers, and by tons I mean 3 tigers, and this first one, which you can see is a very pink one, is a sakura themed inspired or sakura blossom inspired, and the idea came from my boyfriend because lately I have 0 ideas. I want to draw, but I have no inspiration whatsoever. I just knew that I wanted to paint tigers. I wanted it to be something different. So here I am taking out my acrylics. I think it's been a while. And also I just wanted to switch it up a little, switch my style a little. Nothing crazy, of course, but you know, just be more loose. So then I thought, you know what, since we are being loose and focusing less on what I usually do, which is line art. I like lines, especially at the end of a painting or drawing. So I thought, you know what, since we aren't focusing on that, let's talk about shapes and why they are important and how I use them, and yeah. Okay, why can't I paint normally? I always get something dirty. So I started this painting with a very pink base because I wanted this pink to seep through whatever layers I put down, and then I just build it from the lightest colors to the darkest colors because that's just how I like to do it. It doesn't really matter with acrylics because since they dry and they don't come up if you put something on top of it, then you can just go crazy and layer in whatever way you want. And you might see that there are also some blues in this tiger, even though we are getting inspired from sakura blossoms. I just thought, let's add a little bit more to this idea, this concept, because it is just inspired by it. I'm basically just picking up colors, and for example, I wanted the branch, this darkish reddish color, to be in here, but I thought, you know what, let's not make it super obvious that it is inspired by flowers, and just do some subtle color shifts, add some different colors here and there. I just wanted to let loose and just be free and do whatever I wanted. Okay, so first thing I want to mention about shapes is the bigger the shape, the most noticeable it will be, but also the least noticeable. And what I mean by that is that we don't really think about it, right? The big shape. For example, you just think, okay, that's a tiger's head, but that's the whole big shape that we have to set right, as I mentioned at the start, because otherwise, if one thing from the big shapes is falling off, then you will immediately notice it, because when you would just remove all the little shapes, all the details from this portrait, then we are left with the big shapes, and if they are right, then you can immediately tell that, yeah, that is a tiger. So that's why it is important, but that's why also we forget that, that's a shape and it's an important shape. Another thing I try to remember every time with any piece is that the outside area is also a shape. It's kind of like a negative space that we don't think about, but it's really important to place your object in it, since if the composition is off, like the tiger head would be too high or too close to the page where he looks, it would just fall off and feel weird. This is also important if you have a background, but then you have other shapes in it to think about, but we forget about it if we have nothing in the background. You know what I mean? Okay, so it's day 2 of painting the tigers. I'm gonna do a little pixely one for today, and I'll see if I can do a third one because I'm not sure if I can. For this second tiger, I really wanted to bring back and try this pixel effect that I tried once with a crow, and since it was a very experimental piece, I didn't really have any idea of what I'm doing, so for this one I tried to bring back the concept of this tiger kinda getting pixelated, kinda just I guess the pixels are floating away, and I guess it's not fully pixels because it's more of just random blobs, rectangular blobs here and there. But also I am setting the piece before I pixelate it, because I need this base so that I don't lose something important like the anatomy. So that's why I'm kind of filling in the whole face. I'm being very loose in the parts where I know I will saturate it with the pixels, so it's more at the right side, I guess, if we're looking at the screen now. And I'm also painting the tiger blue, because I don't know why pixels just give me blue vibes, and I also wanted to add some of the yellows and pinks that like to have like a glitchy effect. I don't know, I was just experimenting. That's what I wanted for these tigers. Here in this piece, I'm thinking about where to put my shapes, since I know I will oversaturate the painting with pixels with these tiny shapes. Basically, I need to be smart in how I put them. And what I usually do is I put the smallest shapes / details in the focus area, which are, in this case, the eyes. You have to be smart how you place them, because you need to remember, if everything is taken over by small details, if you put small details everywhere, then we have no focus area to look at, and the viewer will lose interest quicker. There are a lot of artists actually that I know that use this to their advantage, and it's fun to look at, but I don't do it, so I'm talking about what I do. But if it is what you want to do, you do you, because again, artists are very free, and there should be basically no boundaries in how you express your art. But in my mind, I'm basically taking a photo with a lens that focuses in one spot, and in that spot we see the most details, and the more outwards from that spot we go, the less details we see, because the camera starts to blur these things. So in my paintings, instead of blurring them, because I'm not a camera, I start to be more loose and paint with bigger strokes and just leave more details out. I'm still not fully satisfied with how this piece turned out, but it is just my second try. But I was trying to put the pixels smaller towards the eye and then go bigger the more out we went. As you can see, I have my inspo for this. I'm gonna try to get the pink color. I kind of have it going on here, but let's see. Ooh, I love this pink. This time I'm gonna go over for the background, so that's why I'm not being careful, but I do want most of the color to be at the head, because since I want it to be all over, then I want it the most saturated here and the thickest here. Also, the pages have ridges? No, what is it called? I don't know. But you can rip it out, so. And I love this messy kind of vibe. So again, with strokes, I don't care. It was funny one time where I did a piece that went kind of viral. And I had a lot of, I guess, negative comments, or just, I don't know, input, where they said, like, I love the piece, but the strokes are horrendous. And I thought, like, hey, but what does it matter? I love the stroke kind of texture, so I don't know why people were so heated by that they could see my strokes, because, like, not everything needs to be polished. And I think especially now where AI is doing things for everybody, which is kind of crazy and annoying, that you should appreciate that we can see all the strokes. And yeah, well, it's kind of clean though, to be fair. It's cleaner than what I did before. Anyways, I'm gonna let this dry and then I'm gonna come back. This third tiger was inspired by a piece that I did a year ago or two. Honestly, I don't remember when I have done a piece. So I really liked the color scheme I had there, so I really wanted to replicate it, and I thought, you know what? I want to draw a third tiger and let's just see if this works. If not, I have two other tigers that I can look at and just be happy that I did two already. But anyways, here we are and we have the third tiger. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in this video. And if you made it this far, then pat yourself on the back and comment shapes are weird so that some people who haven't gotten here can be confused. And before we talk more about shapes, I have a shop and it's open finally. I think it's been a while since I've opened my online store. So if you want to browse, you can check that down below. I think I will have a link there. And also, I will have my own brush set soon coming out, and that link also will be down there, and I've been using them this whole video, so if you want some cute pink brushes, then check that out. Anyways, back to shapes. So for this piece, I wanted to feel more soft, more I wanted a quieter feeling, calmness. So for that you can also use shape language. Basically, different shapes will have different feelings to them, and we can go more into that why, but basically rounded shapes will feel more soft, they will feel more calm, more friendly, so that is what I used for this piece mostly. Of course, as I said in the beginning, I do love to cut sometimes the round edges just to keep it more interesting, because if it is too round, too bubbly, then it can just feel too weak of a painting. Not in a sense that like the tiger is weak, but just it's not as interesting in my opinion. But as well, if I wanted to make this more of an intense tiger, then I would use more sharp or angular shapes, since they feel more tense, they feel more dynamic, they feel more aggressive. And then of course we have organic shapes that just go very irregular, and they're more natural, I guess. But yeah, for this piece I went more rounded for the head, and since I wanted the colors to be more noticeable, then for the stripes I tried to make the shapes more angular, so that's really what we're looking at, because it contrasts well with everything, and since they are darker than everything, then also that is our main point that we're looking at. Since I had an inspo picture here for this painting, I didn't really do a lot of thinking of how I wanted to draw the tiger or paint the tiger. But as you can see, I did add this blue color for the stripes first to just tell my brain, okay, that's where we are putting the stripes. But I also did it in this blue color so that we have something for this stronger, darker blue to latch onto. And plus, I really like the effect of layering to the colors to make them peek through. So I left that blue peeking out in places, and it just creates this cool weird effect. I don't know, maybe I just like how it looks and maybe you don't, but let me know if you do and if I should. I don't know, I'm not super, like, I'm not the biggest fan of the face. I think I did something wrong, but you know, I definitely want to try more with these tigers, the pixel one and this one, you know, because it's fun. Maybe we can do a bigger piece and see how that goes. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed the tigers and my rambling about shapes, and let me know which tiger was your favorite. I don't know which one is my favorite. But yeah, I hope to see you next time. Bye!
Hold me tightly like I was there and whisper softly in your ear that everything is gonna be alright.